Pope Francis opened an important meeting of Catholic bishops today on the future of the Church.
What if the Antichrist is among us, and we don't even know it? Recently, the revered Pope Francis shared a shocking view, suggesting that the Antichrist may already be among us, though not everyone may realize it. His claim is supported by the Holy Bible, which has long prophesied the coming of the Antichrist through various verses and stories. Over the years, researchers have theorized that the Antichrist may be a prominent political figure or even a mysterious supernatural being. But what has us all wondering is, what is the reason behind Pope Francis's sudden revelation? And what does it mean for Christians around the world? Let's explore this profound mystery called the Antichrist, which has puzzled religious scholars and believers for centuries. Pope Francis, the widely respected leader of the Catholic Church, adheres to traditional Christian teachings, including those concerning eschatology. Drawing upon his profound understanding of the Antichrist, he has now unveiled the notion that this figure has already arrived and is silently awaiting the opportune moment to reveal itself. While Pope Francis frequently emphasizes the importance of discernment and the battle between good and the Antichrist's malevolence, his teachings also focus on crucial issues such as social justice, environmental care, and mercy. He has also connected the idea of the 10 kings in biblical prophecy with his revelation regarding the end times and the Antichrist. In addition to Pope Francis, there are several theories that discuss the Antichrist, including the rich billionaire theory, the religious leader theory, the political leader theory, and the apostate church leader theory. The rich billionaire Antichrist theory is a fascinating and thought-provoking concept that offers a unique perspective on biblical prophecies surrounding the Antichrist. This theory suggests that the Antichrist will not only possess immense wealth, but will also have significant economic and political power, making him a force to be reckoned with on a global scale. Proponents of this theory base their arguments on various Bible verses that they believe indicate characteristics typically associated with affluent individuals. They argue that the Antichrist will be a charismatic and influential figure, able to unite people under his magnetic charm and persuasive rhetoric. This aligns with the notion that a rich and powerful individual can easily influence public opinion and garner a devoted following. However, it is important to view these interpretations with caution and a critical mindset. Biblical prophecy is naturally subject to diverse interpretations, and it is important to consider multiple perspectives before reaching any conclusions. The very nature of prophecy allows for a wide range of possible meanings, and it is impossible to state with certainty the accuracy of any particular interpretation. That being said, the wealthy billionaire Antichrist theory certainly provides an interesting lens through which to view biblical prophecies. It leads us to question the role of wealth and power in shaping the world, and how these factors may play a role in the emergence of such a significant figure as the Antichrist. Regardless of our personal beliefs and interpretations, it is always valuable to engage in these discussions and explore the various theories surrounding biblical prophecies. Of the various verses that are often referenced when discussing the Antichrist, one in particular stands out. It can be found in the book of Revelation, specifically in Revelation 13:16-18. This verse states that the wealthy billionaire will put a mark on the right hand or forehead of every person, regardless of their social status or economic standing. This mark will become a requirement for engaging in any kind of activity, effectively banning anyone from participating in daily life without it. The mark is said to bear the name of the beast or the number of his name, known as 666. The mention of knowledge in relation to this verse suggests that it requires careful interpretation and understanding. Scholars and theologians who study this passage in depth often focus on the economic control aspect it presents. They make connections between the potential influence of a wealthy individual on global commerce and trade and the implications of such power in the context of the Antichrist. This interpretation raises interesting questions about the nature of wealth and its potential impact on society. It leads us to consider the extent to which economic power can shape and control the lives of individuals, regardless of their social status or economic position. It also raises concerns about the potential for manipulation and exploitation that arises from concentrated wealth and influence. Furthermore, this verse reminds one of the importance of intelligence and insight in understanding complex religious texts. It encourages individuals to seek deeper understanding and engage in thoughtful analysis when exploring matters of faith and spirituality. By doing so, one can gain a more nuanced understanding of the messages conveyed in religious scriptures, such as the significance of the number 666 and its connection to the Antichrist. The second Antichrist theory is quite intriguing and intricate, as it revolves around the idea of the Antichrist being a religious leader. This aspect of eschatology has caused many to become wary of religious figures. Within biblical verses and interpretations, there are contributions that support the notion of a spiritual leader embodying the Antichrist. In 2 Thessalonians 2:3-4, the Apostle Paul discusses the arrival of the man of lawlessness, or the son of destruction, who opposes and elevates himself above all gods and objects of worship. Some interpret this passage as referring to the Antichrist, suggesting that a religious leader with sinful inclinations may emerge. Additionally, the Apostle John warns in 1 John 2:18-22 about the forthcoming Antichrists, describing them as individuals who deny Jesus as the Christ. While these verses may not explicitly point to a singular figure, they contribute to the broader understanding of multiple Antichrists, fostering the idea that the Antichrist could potentially be a charismatic individual leading people astray from traditional Christian beliefs. In Jesus Christ's discourse on the end times in Matthew 24, he warns against false prophets who will perform remarkable signs and wonders. Beware, even those held in high regard can sometimes be deceiving. This serves as a reminder to be cautious of influential leaders who may mislead others. It also lays the foundation for the concept of an Antichrist who uses their religious charisma to deceive. The notion of a spiritual leader as the Antichrist is often intertwined with discussions about the end times, the second coming of Christ, and the fulfillment of biblical prophecies. Throughout history, scholars and theologians have shared diverse perspectives on these passages, adding to the rich tapestry of eschatological thought within Christianity. The third theory, suggesting that the Antichrist could appear as a political leader, is quite fascinating when considering eschatological interpretations within modern Christianity. With the religious implications surrounding the Antichrist narrative, there is a notion that a political leader might engage in interfaith diplomacy, presenting a facade of unity while subtly undermining core religious beliefs. This aligns with biblical cautions about false prophets and deceivers throughout history. Beyond biblical times, various individuals have been speculated as potential antichrists, often associated with political power. For example, during the medieval period, some regarded Pope Innocent III as an antichrist-like figure due to his political influence. Similarly, figures like Napoleon Bonaparte and Adolf Hitler have been suggested as modern parallels to the Antichrist, considering their significant political impact and the upheaval they caused. Apart from the Book of Revelation, the Book of Daniel is renowned for discussing the Antichrist. What does it indicate about this figure and its arrival? Although the term Antichrist is not explicitly mentioned in the Book of Daniel, let's generate a version of the text that uses a more friendly tone in English. Chapter 8 presents a fascinating vision of a goat, symbolizing a highly influential political leader who achieves great success. This leader is strong-willed, occasionally making somber remarks and causing significant impact. Some scholars associate these verses with the Antichrist, proposing a political leader who rises to prominence through cleverness and formidable power. The Book of Daniel in the Old Testament also reveals visions of creatures and rulers. Verses 7, 8, 20, and 25 mention a proud horn that speaks grandly and wages war against the faithful. Some connect this imagery to the Antichrist, suggesting a parallel with a charismatic religious leader who ascends to authority and mistreats believers. In Daniel 11, we are then told about a king who exalts himself above all gods, uttering astonishing words against the God of gods. While the significance of the leader's disregard for the desire of women is a topic of debate among scholars, it is often interpreted as a characteristic of the Antichrist. The emphasis on political and military power in these verses corresponds with the idea of a political leader as the Antichrist. In his first letter to Timothy, the Apostle Paul kindly warned about the possibility of some people straying from their faith in the future. He emphasized the importance of being cautious about deceptive spirits and teachings that are influenced by evil forces. Although the passage does not explicitly mention the Antichrist, it contributes to the broader idea of deception and a departure from true faith, which are often associated with a political figure who leads people astray. It is worth noting that there is a famous theory suggesting that the Antichrist could potentially emerge as an apostate leader from within the church. In the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus lovingly cautioned about false prophets who may appear harmless, but actually have harmful intentions. This verse helps lay the foundation for the idea that a deceitful leader could arise from within the church, pretending to be a faithful shepherd while harboring destructive motives. Additionally, in the Olivet Discourse, Jesus prophesied about the end times, mentioning the rise of false prophets who would mislead many. This verse aligns with the notion that the Antichrist might not necessarily be an external enemy, but could emerge from within the church using religious authority to deceive believers. The Apostle Peter also cautioned about false prophets and teachers who would secretly introduce destructive heresies, denying the Lord who redeemed them. His prophecy adds to the narrative of internal corruption within the church, possibly leading to an apostate leader who opposes genuine Christian teachings. These biblical references collectively support the theory that the Antichrist could emerge as an apostate church leader before transitioning into a political figure. The idea of an apostate church leader as the Antichrist emphasizes the potential dangers of spiritual deception and the importance of discernment within Christian communities. Besides being a real human, what other forms has the Antichrist been predicted to take? Some eschatological theorists suggest that the Antichrist may appear as an extraterrestrial being. Imagine a scenario where the Antichrist, clever and deceptive, assumes an alien form to infiltrate humanity, spinning a cosmic web of deception. This speculative concept introduces a sci-fi twist to eschatological narratives, blending extraterrestrial intrigue with the biblical notion of the Antichrist. Imagine if the Antichrist used advanced alien technology to hide its true identity. But don't worry, this isn't your typical Men in Black situation. We're talking about the Antichrist being able to change its appearance, create holographic illusions, and seamlessly blend into human society. It's like a subtle invasion that has a big impact. In its alien disguise, the Antichrist is believed to live among us just like a regular human being. It walks, talks, and experiences life just like we do. This clever deception raises deep questions about who we are, what is right and wrong, and where the line between humanity and the unknown lies. To make the act even more convincing, the Antichrist embraces human culture. It goes to social events, gets involved in global politics, and even does charitable work. Its masquerade involves not only looking like us, but also adopting our values and behaviors. The alien abilities it possesses go beyond just the physical. The Antichrist can control minds and manipulate events to further its own sinister plans. This puts humanity in a dangerous position as we unwittingly become pawns in a cosmic game. The Antichrist's grand deception extends far beyond a local conspiracy. It encompasses the entire globe in a mesmerizing charade. Picture world leaders, celebrities, and influential figures unknowingly being led by this alien in human form. It's like the world itself is transformed into a stage, with the Antichrist orchestrating a grand performance. But this deception doesn't stop at the physical realm. It reaches into the depths of spirituality. The Antichrist presents itself as a beacon of enlightenment, offering enticing paths to salvation and spiritual fulfillment. This creates a cosmic clash between genuine faith and the alluring charm of the impostor. The climax of this story unfolds as the cosmic conspiracy gradually unveils itself. The Antichrist's disguise begins to crumble as humanity uncovers the truth, revealing an evil extraterrestrial force that has been manipulating human history. This revelation sparks a deep reflection on what it truly means to be human. The blurred boundaries between reality and illusion, human and alien, pose profound questions about identity, trust, and the nature of good and evil. This imaginative and peculiar scenario blends elements of biblical prophecy with the intrigue of alien deception, resulting in a captivating tale that invites us to ponder the essence of our humanity. Crafting a thought-provoking narrative that challenges conventional ideas about the end times, we delve into a tale that invites contemplation on the nature of deception, the vulnerability of humanity, and the blurred boundaries between the familiar and the unknown in the cosmic tapestry of existence. Picture a scenario where people innocently worship an alien, mistakenly believing it to be human, only to later recognize it as the Antichrist. This captivating storyline is rooted in speculative eschatological thought, exploring the notion that advanced extraterrestrial beings could potentially use their technology, charisma, or deceptive abilities to sway and mislead humanity. To establish its cunning influence, the alien might showcase awe-inspiring miracles or display advanced technological feats beyond human comprehension. These demonstrations could encompass acts of healing, telepathy, or even manipulation of matter, creating a sense of wonder and reverence among its followers. As word of these extraordinary events spreads globally, the alien figure garners widespread adoration and a devoted following. People from all different cultures and backgrounds are attracted to the idea of a perfect future under the guidance of this incredibly kind being. The alien might bring together elements from various religious and spiritual traditions, presenting itself as a unifying force that surpasses any existing divisions. Its teachings could embrace universal themes, creating a sense of spiritual harmony among its followers. The alien might even introduce innovations that transform society, solving global problems and gaining even more devotion. These remarkable technological advancements could include sustainable energy solutions and groundbreaking medical discoveries, making the alien figure even more captivating. The arrival of the alien could have coincided with the ongoing Israel-Gaza war, which might have made its promises of salvation and prosperity particularly appealing in these uncertain times. When people are feeling unsure, they tend to be more open to charismatic leaders who offer hope and guidance. The realization that this revered figure is actually the Antichrist could gradually unfold. At first, subtle signs or moments of moral ambiguity might be overlooked, but as the alien's true nature becomes clear, its followers would likely feel a collective shock and disillusionment. The revelation of the alien's true identity could lead to a profound crisis of faith among its followers, causing them to question their beliefs and confront the stark contrast between the promised utopia and the emerging reality of deceit and manipulation. This extraterrestrial scenario explores themes of charismatic leadership, the power of technological advancements, and the vulnerability of humanity in the face of significant change. Although this narrative is speculative and firmly rooted in science fiction and esoteric theology, it serves as a friendly reminder to consider the potential consequences of our choices and the importance of staying true to our beliefs. The input text provides an insightful exploration of belief, deception, and the potential consequences of blind devotion. Let's not forget to mention the intriguing theory about the rebuilding of the Roman Empire by the Antichrist. This theory often stems from historical, geopolitical, and cultural analysis rather than direct scriptural interpretation. The concept of the Antichrist reconstructing the Roman Empire draws inspiration from the historical significance and power of the original empire. The Roman Empire, renowned for its vast influence, military prowess, and political dominance, gradually declined over centuries. The theory speculates that a charismatic global leader, identified as the Antichrist, could emerge to establish a form of global power reminiscent of the Roman Empire. Supporters of this theory may highlight historical parallels where leaders aim to establish universal or hegemonic authority. They might compare it to conquerors from the past who sought to unify diverse regions under a single rule, suggesting that the Antichrist could potentially follow a similar path. In a modern context, Rome is often viewed as a symbol of power, governance, and cultural influence. The theory suggests that the Antichrist could metaphorically or physically rebuild certain aspects of the Roman Empire in order to consolidate global authority. This might involve forming political alliances, exerting economic influence, or even establishing a centralized world government. The enduring cultural legacy of Rome, seen in its architecture, governance models, and legal systems, adds depth to this theory. In rebuilding the Roman Empire, the Antichrist might be seen as incorporating or adapting certain cultural and institutional elements that resemble those of the historical empire. In the modern era, globalization has brought about unprecedented interconnectedness. According to the theory, the Antichrist could utilize contemporary tools of globalization, such as economic alliances, digital communication, and political influence, to create a global empire similar to the Roman model. Technological advancements and improved communication are also seen as crucial aspects of this theory. The Antichrist might exploit technological tools for surveillance, control, and manipulation, resulting in a regulated global empire where information, economies, and even individual lives are tightly controlled. According to this theory, the Antichrist could potentially achieve all of this. The person in question would excel as a skillful strategist in the political realm, building strong partnerships, maneuvering through geopolitical complexities, and effectively handling crises to promote their goals. Their focus lies in political astuteness and the ability to navigate the intricacies of global relations. Economic influence is regarded as a vital tool for revitalizing the Roman Empire in a contemporary setting. In this context, the individual might exercise control through economic systems, trade agreements, and financial institutions, working towards establishing a global economic order under their influence. The concept of the spirit of Antichrist is a theological idea that goes beyond specific biblical references. It explores a subtle and widespread influence that goes against the principles of Christ. This theory suggests that the spirit of the Antichrist is not limited to a single individual, but can manifest in different forms, ideologies, and behaviors that contradict the teachings of Christianity. The concept of the spirit of the Antichrist has its roots in early Christian theology, becoming more prominent in discussions about evil, deception, and opposition to Christ. Over time, theologians have developed this concept as they grapple with the complexities of spiritual warfare and the challenges faced by believers. The spirit of the Antichrist is often seen as a pervasive force that subtly influences individuals, societies, and ideologies. It is not necessarily tied to a specific person, but can manifest through ideas and actions that oppose or distort Christian values. This theory suggests that the spirit of the Antichrist involves a denial or distortion of the core beliefs of Christianity, including the divinity of Christ, the redemptive nature of his sacrifice, and the authority of biblical teachings. The spirit of the Antichrist theory suggests that there are ideologies or movements that go against foundational Christian beliefs. These can include explicitly anti-Christian ideologies or those that seek to limit religious freedoms. It also encompasses moral and ethical contradictions that contradict Christian teachings, such as societal trends, cultural norms, or individual behaviors that promote values inconsistent with Christian ethics. People apply this theory to analyze cultural shifts and political movements that challenge Christian principles. However, critics argue that it can be subjective and could lead to labeling diverse beliefs or behaviors as anti-Christian. In a more friendly tone, we can say, the spirit of the Antichrist theory suggests that there are certain ideologies or movements that undermine or reject foundational Christian beliefs. These can include ideologies that are explicitly anti-Christian or seek to limit religious freedoms. It also encompasses moral and ethical contradictions that contradict Christian teachings, such as societal trends, cultural norms, or individual behaviors that promote values inconsistent with Christian ethics. People use this theory to analyze cultural shifts and political movements that challenge Christian principles. However, critics argue that it can be subjective and may lead to labeling diverse beliefs or behaviors as anti-Christian. The lack of specificity in identifying the spirit of the Antichrist in different contexts can make it quite challenging. However, there are various theories, biblical references, and historical predictions that support Pope Francis's claim of the Antichrist's arrival. It is important for everyone to be vigilant and aware of the signs of the Antichrist, whether it be in the park, at school, or even at church. What are your thoughts on Pope Francis's revelation and the Antichrist theories? Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe for future videos, and don't forget to share this with your friends.